Today we're going to be going through some member questions, and we're going to touch on why it's so important to understand the customer journey. If you understand the customer journey, you can deliver the right message at the right time. This helps you deliver a unique and optimal experience for that end consumer. This way we can help you reach the fullest level of conversion that your product deserves to increase your profits. Stick around. Welcome back. It's Monday, so you are here in the right spot at Mailbag Monday. Nick Williams, good to have you. So we are going to go over a question from a member, and we've got it right here. Let's just jump straight in. So Robert is a brand manager out of Nevada, and he asked, "Hey Nick, I'm the founder of a craft brewery house here in Nevada." That's good. In Cincinnati, we have a big craft brewery scene, so this will be a good question. My state is known for their beer, but despite there being interest, I can't figure out how to scale new customers. Do you have any thoughts on where I can focus? Thanks to you, Robert. So yes, Robert, this is an interesting question. And oftentimes we'll see clients be wondering the same thing. How do we get new customers? How do we scale? How do we grow? And more times than not, it's a marketing problem. And what I mean by that is, if you are not able to truly understand where your customers are coming from, what your customers want to hear, when your customers start their search, at what point are your customers going to be a little bit more vulnerable to hear a message? If you don't understand all of those aspects of your ideal client who you're going after, you can't really expect to acquire new customers, at least at the pace in which you're likely looking to acquire them. You're looking for organic growth, things will trickle in slowly, but marketing is really about telling a story, and providing instructions, and converting new clients. It's as simple as that. So, you are looking at a marketing problem, my friend. So let's look at, and this, well, there's one of a few options. So with the limited information I have, it sounds like a marketing problem. I'll caveat all of this with that. And so, what we're gonna do is we're gonna map out, the customer journey is so unique and sophisticated to every, it can look very, very different, drastically different depending on the segment. Probably best to just go through a general customer journey to really understand the stages of a human being in terms of consumer behavior. You tailor this message and it gets unique according to your segment, your audience, your ideal client when we get to the micro level. So when we start to deliver this, we do this specific thing at DeepBridge for our clients. When we do this, we go a lot deeper and we do a lot more qualitative research to understand the purchase tendencies, the dynamics, all the reasons your specific consumer buys. So this will change. I just want to say that. But let's get straight into it. So the first stage of your buyer's journey, for the most part, speaking in generalities, is going to be about awareness. You need to make sure that your customer even knows you exist. If they don't know you exist, of course they're not going to be able to buy you. Businesses and brands, they just expect people, it's sort of like Kevin Costner. Just because you build it does not mean they're going to come, unfortunately. So you need to make sure that they're aware you even exist. That could start with inbound marketing. It typically does, and that's exactly where we would start. You need to own SEO, you need to own keywords. Again, this would come from qualitative research and understand who's your ideal target, because you can't just, for instance, you can't just go out there and start writing about, pale ale brews. What if everyone in your general market, they're not even interested in pale ale? So you can't go out there and start writing content only about pale ale. We'd figure out it's probably smart to write about all kinds of different beers, but if everyone in Nevada or your ideal client, with regard to your opportunity to convert the most, that's when we say ideal clients, what we're talking about, your biggest opportunity, they may prefer a certain type of beer, in which case we would make sure that your awareness and your content was tailored accordingly. The next stage we'd be looking at is, we're going to call this interaction. But in reality, this is really interest. Now that you're on their radar, you need to now get their interest. You need to interact with them in some way, shape, or form. So whether that's you reaching out or inviting them to reach out to you and provide information, you need to engage with them on some level that gets their interest, because if you're not interfacing with them, there is no way they're going to consume your content and be open to hearing your content. After you start to interact with them and you get their interest, you need to get them to commit. Now, commitment is not always dollars, and that's usually how people see it. You don't need to pay for something for that to be commitment. In fact, looking at the customer journeys, you're probably going to be looking at more of a subscription. You need to make sure that people are subscribing, people are saying, look, yes, contact me. But this is the part of the customer journey that a lot of people just breeze past. You know, there is a big barrier to entry to most categories, but for the most part, you're a complete and total stranger. Like Robert, they don't know anything about, for the most part, they don't know anything about your brand. You can't expect them to just show up and start buying things. They need, at some level that's low risk, to commit to you. Now that could be buying, coming in and saying, look, here's a coupon, here's a discount, I'm gonna give you your first beer on the house. That's a commitment, because that's their time and their money. Or you could write some really good inbound marketing, some really good inbound content, and say, subscribe, and I'll shoot this over to you. Every Monday, we're gonna have a Brewery Monday, and I'm gonna take you through the factory, and I'm gonna talk about one beer every single Monday. I'm not asking you for anything. I'm not asking you to come buy anything. I just want you to watch. That is a commitment. You're taking their time, but in exchange for their personal information, i.e. their email and their name, you're gonna be providing some sort of value that matters to them. Because at that point in time in the customer journey, they're not ready to risk with you. So you need to provide value that's not contingent on any strings or some sort of purchase, or just give them something that provides a little value but doesn't make them commit to anything too bold. So that's step 3. Step 4, we're going to be talking about converting them. So now that you've got their commitment, we're going to be looking at converting them over to buying something from us. Now, whereas step 3 was focused more about getting their attention, converting attention into commitment in some sort of time, or, like I said, that could have been some sort of purchase, but now conversion is going to be really about cementing that interested buyer into your business and your ecosphere. So now that you've got them to commit, you've converted them into a very interested lead or prospect, you're going to be inspiring them in step 5. Inspiring is going to be about urging action. So now that you've got an interested party who's buying something that's tripwire or a little bit lower maintenance or lower risk, you're going to be taking that prospect and you're going to be getting them excited about whatever your first product is, whatever that initial product that you offer that truly funnels them into your business cycle, into your marketing system. So now that you've got them on your platform, you've got them with the best information possible, your premium trials, this could be a 14-day trial or something like that, you're going to be inspiring them to fully commit to your business. Now, if you reach step 5 successfully, step 6 is very easy. Close them. Step 6 is about the easiest thing that you could be doing in this whole journey, because if you did 1 through 5 correctly, you're not reintroducing new information that they don't already know. Steps 1 through 5 should be so seamless that step 6 is just a natural progression. And most marketers, most businesses, most brands skip 2 through 5 so that it's almost impossible to go from 1 to 6. Take a look at your business right now, Robert, and say, look, how are you actually selling to these people? Because if you're buying Google ads, display ads, Facebook ads, and you're just expecting them to make a purchase, you're going from 1 to 6, and you're wondering why your conversion is so low, likely, or you can't acquire new customers, you can't get new people to come in, or you're not doing the work to really understand what stage of the journey can you really be hitting hard on each of these components in order to reduce the barrier to entry or purchase little by little. So your job is to chip away at that in order to persuade them effectively. So now that you've closed them, the sales process, the marketing process does not end there. The point of all this is not to get a quick buck. The point of all this is to create a tribe, is to create loyalty, is to create people who are obsessed with your brand, loyalists. So step 7 is going to be about nurturing. Now that you have this sale, do not let go. If anything, double down. Reinvest was almost what I called 7. So you're going to be nurturing this client so much so that they feel so special, they'll never leave you again. And that right there is one of the most important things you could be doing. 2019, it's the hardest to acquire a customer, but it's the easiest to keep them. Technology has made it so, like for instance us, we can seamlessly interact with people at so many different levels at all times. So we can scale our conversations and create seamless conversations across your marketing platform so that wherever you are in the nurture sequence, 1 through 8, 1 through 7, 1 through 8, we can talk to you at a specific level and input specific messages to these micro audiences. So we segment your buyers and then we talk to them specifically about what they want to hear when they need to hear it. And technology and software has made the ability to do that so much easier than it was 5 years ago. And that's only going to increase. So you need to get in the habit, if anything, of nurturing these leads. So if you get one, even if you only have 5 clients, 10 clients, 20 clients, go love on those clients. See what they want. Provide some sort of like feedback loop so you can keep getting better while including them in the process. Because if you do step 7 right and you nurture them, not only are you going to create lifelong customers who love your brand and are loyal. Let's go to step 8. You're going to make these customers advocates. Advocates is one of those ways to supplement your marketing. If you can get people who truly love your brand and what you're doing, you've created a marketing system that you're not paying these people, and that'd be one step deeper down the road. You could incentivize referrals, and that's another phase that we could talk about. But the one thing you really want to make sure you're doing after you nurture your prospects is to create advocates of them. You want to make people love your brand so much so that they can't stop talking about you. A personal referral is the #1 trusted source in terms of why it gets other people to buy a product. So if you can go out there and you can tell your message and you can get people to love who you are as a company, a brand, a business, they will see that, they'll love you for that, and they want other people to have the experience they just had. So when you focus on delivering a high value experience, they're gonna wanna share that. And that's where the secret sauce of all this comes into play. That's the cohesive force behind all this. You need to create a brand that is so lovable that people are obsessed. They're obsessed with sharing that experience so others can see what that's like. And when you do that, you create a loop of incoming customers, and you can scale your acquisition. Once you do 1 through 8 correctly, all you have to do is infuse some leverage. Just paid marketing. Find the funnel, find the system that works for you, invest in the journey, scale your growth. It's that simple. So, hopefully that made sense. And if you have any questions, Robert, or anyone else watching this, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to answer anything, and keep sending your questions in. I'll create a new form in which you can find the submission board and send your stuff in. We had a lot this Monday, and hopefully that just keeps getting up, so that keeps growing. So I appreciate your interest, and I appreciate you watching, and I really do hope this helped. And let me know if I can switch up the content and provide you with anything else. Otherwise, we'll see you next Monday. So conversion is going to be conversion is going to be a hyper focused version. Conversion is going to be a hyper focused point. Conversion